Hi guys, it is Jen from The Aligned Life, and today I want to talk to you about the power of having a beginner's mindset. So I read this article the other day that inspired me to talk about this today, and it was all about how our past can be one of our biggest obstacles in the way to our future. And that's because when we start to think that we know everything, or we think we know how the world works, or we think we know how we work, then we create an expectation in our life. And of course, that expectation will always come to fruition. So in the past, if say you've never been historically good with money and one of your goals is all about bringing more money into your life, you will have to try really hard to forget about all your past experiences, because of course your past doesn't necessarily have any bearing on your future, but that's all you've known, that's all you've experienced. So it's going to be really difficult for you to move past that feeling of lack or that feeling of failure and then moving into a feeling of success. And that is because you are looking to your past. That is your only experience with money, and you need to figure out a way to get on money's level that doesn't rely on your historical, that doesn't rely on your history. Because we all have a blank slate. Every morning you wake up, you have a blank slate. You don't have to be the same person you were yesterday. You can choose to be somebody brand new anytime you like, and all that really needs is for you to start thinking new thoughts, which create new feelings, which will create new actions. So that is always 100% in your power. It's your prerogative each and every single day. So I was also thinking a little bit about how one of the most powerful experiences that has helped me cultivate a beginner's mindset is, of course, the experience of travel, or in my case, specifically moving to a foreign country, where if you've lived in a small town or if you lived in one place most of your life, you get really good at becoming good at living in that place. So every single society, every town, every city, every whatever, it all has its own little mini version of societal rules. And you don't even really think about them when you're in them. You just think this is the way the world is, and you start to act in accordance with that selection of rules and expectations that has been created by the society of the people living there. So, for example, in Vancouver, I was a really great Vancouverite. I had my to-go cup coffee, my Starbucks, I had my Lululemon pants, I had my Aritzia outfits, I had this whole thing that is a very Vancouver vibe going on. However, I moved to Berlin, Germany, and they don't really have any of that stuff here. The people here don't know what Aritzia is. Lululemon, I rarely ever see anyone wearing Lululemon, and there's barely even a Starbucks. Starbucks is from Seattle, but it's the same general area. The whole culture here is so different. So I had to, of course, that's a part of what attracted me to moving to Europe, is to go into a whole new culture. But when you go into a new culture, you start to realize just how much of the stuff around you is just a construct. It's like an agreement. It's we've all agreed to think that something is important. But if you move somewhere else or to another country, none of that stuff is important. Some other things are important. That just helps to put me in that beginner space. In Germany, I am not, my German is still really shitty. Sorry, Germany. But it took me a long time. Every single time when I first moved here, when I left the house to go buy groceries, it was stressful because I knew I was going to mess something up, or not be able to read something or something like that. And it's a very humbling experience. But I think that is a wonderful way actually to go through life. It is wonderful to be humbled. It is wonderful to come back to that beginner's mentality, because that clears out all of the junk that was in your mental space. So if you have the opportunity to go out every day and do something brand new with yourself, then why wouldn't you? And really, the only thing that is keeping you in your current paradigm is your attachment to your past. If you want to create a new life for yourself, I invite you to bring in the practice of looking at everything with brand new eyes. And this takes some practice. It takes some practice to get out of that space where we think we know everything and we're an expert at living the life that we have. We need to get out of that expert state of mind and go back into a beginner mind and start to reevaluate everything. Because if you go on that autopilot and just start doing everything like without thinking, the same way you've always done it, you're going to keep getting the same results you always have. If you go into the beginner mentality, that invites new thoughts, new opinions, and new actions, and then that will create the change that you were looking for. So honestly, thinking like a beginner, it is not a step down. It's actually one of the most empowering spiritual practices that you could have. The more that we get attached and think we know how the world works, the more likely we are to be stuck in our current spot. So thinking like a beginner, cultivating that attitude of openness and unknowing is a beautiful way to invite new and more magical experiences into your life. Because if you have the expectation of something happening, it's going to happen. So if you remove your expectations, you are leaving room for that magic to come in and find you. So I hope you guys found that inspiring. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, please hit the alarm button. I hear it's the alarm button now, not the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. And if you want to hear more from me, please come on over to my website. I've got plenty more free articles and all kinds of stuff for you guys to check out, and including a free meditation that I just created. So come on over and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and just remember, get ready for the miracle. Namaste.